So welcome to FA coverage, round 8 of the competition. It just keeps getting more and more high stakes, doesn't it? It's round 8 down here at Port Melbourne tonight at Anderson Reserve, the home of the Sharkies, and it's the big one against Avondale. Joey Herzog joining me in comms tonight. Good to have you aboard, Joey. Thank you for just being you, my friend. You've got the lineups there.
Thank you very much, Greg. It is a pleasure to be here. JL Murphy Reserve round 8. As you said, we're going to run through the lineups quickly. Port Melbourne, the hosts. Number 1, Andrew Withers in goals. Number 2, Emlyn Wellsmore, my apologies. Number 3, Aaron Reardon. Number 6, Ben Lifton. Captain tonight for the absent Michael Eager is number 7, Chris Duggan, the top goal scorer in the league. Number 8, Matthew Entourmanopoulos. Number 9, Omar Amache. Number 10, George Mells. Number 11, Chris Cusis. Number 14, Jackson Courtney Perkins, and number 15, Christian Bombachi. For the visitors, Avondale. Number 44, Rory Bryan in goals. Number 2, Scott Hillier. Number 5, Matthew Reid. Number 9, Liam Bollen. Number 11, Yusuf Ahmed. Number 13, Yite Towns. Captain, Philip Riccabene. Number 17. Number 19, Brandon Lundy. Number 22, Stefan Valentini. 27, Dylan Jacoupy. 33, Joey Katabian. And we are seconds away from kickoff, Greg.
Looking forward to this one. We've locked, we've loaded, and we're away at Port this evening, the home side, in the traditional Port colours of blue and red. The stripes heading to the right of screen, the tree line, city end of the ground. It's a big one for them. They're 8th with 8 points, Port, right now. And you just wonder which side of Port we're going to see tonight. It's a big test for them against Avondale, who hit some form last weekend, knocking over Eastern Lions. I've seen Avondale a couple of times this year, and I think they're just warming up for another tilt at some silverware. There we go. Somebody's. So we're up here in the broadcast towers, looking forward to a big one. Port have only ever beaten Avondale just the once. You talk about bogey teams, so that's another hurdle that they'll be trying to overcome tonight. So Avondale going nowhere right now, stuck in their back third. Going back to Rory Bryan, the goalkeeper. Finally it pops out of play. So a robust start by Port Melbourne on what is going to become a fairly chilly night as we march toward winter here in Melbourne. It's an Avondale throw, deep back left. Long throw. Contested header. Avondale will stream away. Katabian, great ball for the runner. He's already scored 4 this year. And number 20, trouble there right now, because he's pulled up Stefan Valentini, who made that run then. He's pulled up holding his, I reckon it's his left hamstring. And he has been in red-hot form, Valentini, so keep an eye on that one as Port come away. Early going. Scoreless game. Joey Katabian and Blakey on board on this Friday night footy matchup at Port Melbourne. Joey, you were looking eagerly at me. I thought you were going to tell me something really important.
Yeah, like as you said there, Greg, you had Stefan Valentini. He did pull up holding his hamstring there. Made a good run, got played nicely through. He hasn't scored in 3 games, but does have 3 goals to his name this season, as Avondale are the better team so far in the game. We are very early since kickoff. I mean, they've played 7, they've won 4, so they're over 50% this season. They've done well last 2 weeks, both 2-0 victories. Yusuf Ahmed, Liam Bollen, Stefan Valentini, all players that can score. All players that do. As the ball comes to Duggan, another man who can score for the Sharks. He's the top goal scorer this season in the league so far. He's got 5, but it's a very interesting complexion. I mean, Port Melbourne are the type of side that they can beat you on any given day, but they can also lose. So it's going to be very interesting to see, especially Avondale. They haven't they didn't have the best start to the season, but it will be a very interesting one.
Now, we haven't got the camera on it right now. We'll follow the play, but Stefan Valentini's getting looked at by the medical team down in front of us as Port work it forward. Ball to the top of the penalty area. No one home for the Sharkies. Belted away by Avondale. Wellsmore goes inside for Mells. Went straight up Route 1 and was repelled straight away. Jete Towns on the run. Early going here at Port tonight. Now, Valentini's back on the paddock. They've had a look at him, so assuming the medical team are all over that one, so he's okay. Good news for Avondale supporters. Avondale coming into this one second in the competition. They can take outright leadership this weekend, depending on other results, obviously. Good ball around the corner. Lidfin, he's beaten to it in a foot race, out of play. So that was more promising by Port. We'll keep an eye on the clock that we don't have yet. It's like working with HUFC TV. They work it round the Cape. Wellsmore goes upfield, hits. That's a great ball onto the feet of Courtney Perkins. Avondale away though. Boland lofts it in the air, ambitious. Now I'll tell you right now, Valentini did not look good then. He's shaking your head. He went to chase it down and straight away just shook his head and thought, I'm not going to go for that. Now, is it just because of the cold weather? Is it precautionary, or is he carrying? Yeah, I reckon they're going to go for a change. I reckon they're going for a change. So that's a big one if Valentini has to check out.
Yeah, well, just like you said there, Greg, he went for the run, and you could see that he was limping as he was running, and the more steps he took, the worse it got. It could be the cold weather, you know, it's very hard to warm the body up, and then once you warm up, you go inside the change room and you have your last team talk, so there's a few minutes there of not really running around or anything, so those first few minutes are crucial when it comes to wintertime games. As Port Melbourne go forward here.
Duggan releases the footy. They have to work it wide. Courtney Perkins and belted clear by the Avondale defence, who just tested for the first time.
And just looking at the Avondale bench, you've got number 4, Charlie Beverley, number 12, Christos Theodorakopoulos, number 15, Adam El Hayek, and number 29, Yazid Said. So just looking at those names, you really think that it might be number 29, Yazid Said, coming on to replace Stefan Valentini, but we will keep you updated as that progresses. Port Melbourne corner.
So still inside the first 10, Chris Kiusis with the corner at the city end of Shark Park, goes near post, glancing header, goes airborne. Anybody's ball, running it down under pressure was Avondale. They'll stream clear. That was Valentini. Katabian went the up and under for Jete Towns and got the angles all wrong. Withers goes long for Port Melbourne. Yeah, Port have been... well, when they're on, they're on. But 8th spot with 8 points. And plenty to prove against the Avengers here tonight. It's a big game. The Avengers in the last few seasons have really... Well, they haven't won a thing, have they? But they've been one of the big players of this competition. So close so many times. And they will be again this year. Boland did well under pressure. I think it was Lundy. Katabian at half field. Angles it outside for the runner. Lundy powers after it. Courtney Perkins is beaten to the punch by Lundy, who launches one. It skids across the penalty area. Dangerous for the Sharkies, but the flag went up. So that was as good as we've had so far in a scoreless game, and Avondale are going to make that change. And Yazid Said will check into the contest, the little number 29. And this is, I reckon this is big, this is going to be big news. As, yeah, he's definitely coming. So it's a hamstring problem, if not a tear. So Avondale have made the early change. Saeed comes in for Stefan Valentini, and that, let's see how that affects the contest. Pulled on the moves. Very still night. The surface looks really good down here at Shark Park tonight. Not something you might say in the middle of winter, but right now it's holding up really, really well. Early doors, no score. Courtney Perkins launches himself after it, hits it first time near post, and the goalkeeper swept it up with ease. First touch for Saeed. So we all have bogey sides, don't we? I mean, how about that though? Sharks haven't beaten Avondale just once since 2014. That's in, I think it's 14 or 15 games. They'd like to take the Avondale's. Oh, and Lundy hits the deck, so it's going to be an Avondale free kick. Well, it's been an engaging enough opening, my friend.
Yeah, well, as you said there, only the one win against Avondale. Avondale's a side that has proved themselves year after year as a contender. And not only that, but another statistic that doesn't really work in Port Melbourne's favour is the fact that they've only won the one game at home this season. That last game, 5-0 against St Albans Saints. It's been horrid start to the season in terms of results for their home form, with that first round loss to the Knights 1-0, and then the third round loss to Eastern Lions 2-1 here at home. And then that draw, goalless draw if you will, against the league leaders South Melbourne. You could say that's a point earned against the league leaders, but you really want to, as they say, the old school method of doing well in a season. You win your home games, you draw your away games, and you're up in the top three.
Yeah, speaking of old school, I listened to both of us tonight, Joey, is that you making notes in black pen or blue pen, because you can't see your red biro on a night like this. So we were both equally stupid, but good job on deciphering what you read then. Goalkeeper backs himself, it skews off the right foot, no score early, going round 8. Shark Park on a Friday night. By golly, I remember when Port Melbourne first made senior comp in Victoria in the mid-1990s, and they were a good side then too. Taki Sfigos was the coach. And they took the league by storm. And tonight they'd want to take this one by storm as Withers goes up the middle, the ball high in the air, caressed away by Lundy. Port come again. Withers comes off Saeed and trying to work it forward. Avondale stand strong, as they did against the Lions last week. Withers again. Up the centre corridor. Courtney Perkins is arm wrestled out of it. That bloke won't be. Liam Boland, he just crashed and bashed a little bit. Let people know he's around. Port again. Litvin into traffic. Well played by Duggan. Kiusis nimble to the line, tries to draw it back, gets the corner for the Sharkies. Under lights on this Friday night.
Well, that was a nice play by Port Melbourne. The ball came into Chris Duggan. He had the time to turn, did so, played Kiusis, and that was a bit of lightning speed from the left back, Christopher Kiusis, the number 11. Good enough to win a corner. They're going to want to improve on the deliveries, though, get some of their players inside the box, but it's not the first corner of the game, so they've been playing well. Just haven't found the back of the net yet.
Good job, Joey. You're a good man. That is a dangerous corner. Just sat in front of the goalkeeper and just angled away from him. Avondale will try and manoeuvre it clear. Good pick up, though. And the Sharkies control the footy still. Well, back inside their own half. Lots of force. Boland tried to wrestle the footy away from his opponent. Did so for a moment. Port come again, though. They're well in this contest, the 8th place Sharks right now. Mells goes long. The flag will go up. Jacoby back to his goalkeeper again. Have we got a time call on this, folks? Anybody got a clock or a watch, sundial, anything? Look at you. You're all over it. Lundy goes long. Thank you very much. Can't read that. Got cataract the size of Mount Vesuvius, my friend. You can interpret it. 2 stick figures. Still inside the first quarter hour, I'd estimate. Oh, how about that, eh? Wow. Big game for both clubs. Well, it's actually that point of the year as we go into round 8. The early joy of the new season has dissipated. And now matches, results have consequences for clubs. Melbourne, lots of huff and puff, but nothing to show for its strong, bold, robust defence by Avondale. A winner back Port. The long up and under. That's dangerous. Well, it was. And then Lundy nearly coughed it up. And the shot on the turn, they exchange shots. Sorry. So again, strong defence from Avondale. On this Friday night, about 17 away, no score. Blakey and Joey doing the best they can up in Shark Towers. That's some great running by that hyphenated Courtney Perkins. Goes far post, and that is absolutely rifled home by Chris Kiusis. He made no mistake from a distance, and he put vapour trails on it. It went into the net at the city end, and the Sharkies are up by 1, Joey.
Well, that was absolutely gorgeous from Chris Kiusis. We just spoke about him earlier before that last corner. He showed a blistering light of pace, and it just shows that he's ready, and he jumped onto that ball, drilled it into the bottom right corner, and there, as you like it, Port Melbourne Sharks in front of their home fans against the second team in the division have a 1-0 lead. About 18 minutes in, that's the best possible start that they could have had, Blakey.
We don't have the luxury of a replay screen, but I wish we did, just so we could go, oh, did you see that? Chris Kiusis with the match opener. We've played 18 and Port Melbourne lead Avondale. Lundy hesitates with the throw. Boland back to Lundy. He goes deep against traffic, takes a cannon. Still not out of play. It is now as Andrew Withers let it roll listlessly across the line at the bay end of the ground. Thank goodness there's no breeze. Sometimes down here at Shark Park on an evening, you get that wind off the bay and it's freezing. Whoa, that's a bold flag went up. But it was exciting just for a moment as it painted a picture through the night air here in Port Melbourne.
And just an update for you, Blakey, literally simultaneous with our goal here at JL Murphy Reserve. At the Knights Stadium, the Knights have a 30th minute 1-0 lead against Altona Magic.
And we'll expect some kind of weirdness there. And Altona Magic this year have played in 2 goals up, 2 goals down. The NPL in Victoria this year has been absolutely sensational. Even my red pen team sheet's crap. By the way, I'll tell you in a minute. Oh, this is good stuff. And the Sharks should have gone ahead. They really should have. And Marchie blasted it wide, the little bloke. I thought you were signalling for the microphone. I've got to get my team sheets right, brother. Anyway, Chris Kiusis with an absolute ripper goal. That'll go on the highlights reel. Don't worry about that. So Avondale got the work to do. Boland, he's one of the blokes that you'll expect does try to spin through trouble. And in the end, he created a bit of trouble for his own side. Lost the run of the footy. driving run. Dug in. Learn the throw. Wellsmore. Duggan takes a cannon off Lundy. It's a 1-0 game. At 20 away. FV coverage on this Friday night. And already we've seen some signs that this is going to be a seatbelts on job, I reckon. Down to the wire. Courtney Perkins runs to receive. That was good stuff. Far post. Too long. Or was it? And drilled. I think that was Cuses again, was it? Well, same place. And I think he rather fancied himself. The eyes lit up, but not that time. He got the opener, though, on 17, and that's the way it stays, Joey and Blakey.
Yeah, well, you know, you put one through, Blakey, and the ball comes to you in the same position, same foot. A little bit higher, this one. He tried to snap at it with about a half volley, but couldn't keep his body over it, and the ball flew over the bar. But Port Melbourne with a really good spell over here. I mean, Jackson, Courtney Perkins getting on the ball, Chris Duggan busy, Ben Lifton in the middle busy, Matthew and Tumanopoulos playing well. Kiusis, the fullback, has been on the ball, got the opener as you said, but it's been quite nice. It was a good start from Avondale in the first 5 or so minutes, but over the last 10, Port Melbourne have seen more of the ball, created more of the opportunities, getting into good positions, communicating very nicely as a team, and Coach Adam Pittock must be happy with the way these first 20 minutes have unfolded.
And just if you're tuning in, apart from the Chris Kiusis goal, the other big news from this one so far, Stefan Valentini checking out, looked like a hamstring injury early on. Port Melbourne cleared the lines. Bold running. Back by the number 8. You've got to get that for me. Do that number 8, will you?
So Matthew and Tumanopoulos.
That's what I was going to say. And that's 4 times I got it wrong. I'll have another crack. I'm too old for this crap. We've played, I don't know, I reckon about 22, 23, and Port lead it by 1. They should be brimming with confidence and running on air. Courtney Perkins is beaten to the punch of the ball. That was dangerous. You had to be brave to get in there. Boland. Lundy from Ricker Benning. Going around the Cape, the old Avengers. Big fellow Helia launches it. It's going to sit well, or is it for the substitute? The little number. He's tiny. He leapt, but he's still tiny. Even when he leaps high, he's tiny. So you're on your phone, aren't you? Everybody's always on their phone these days. Shark Park on this Friday night. And the home side lead it by 1.
Was just checking the time there for you, Blakey. 23 minutes played.
I was trying to lead you into that, Dahlia.
Port Melbourne Sharks holding themselves nice and clear leaders on the park. Avondale are really going to need to work something out as the ball is here with Katabian. He takes the shot, but had it covered was Andrew Withers of Port Melbourne, but the ball flew mighty over the bar. That's positive from Avondale, but they're going to have to work their way around. Yazid Saeed, the substitute, is going to have to get more in the game. He does have the quick feet. On the other wing, you do have Yusuf Ahmed, 4 goals this season. But we're in for an exciting one, Blakey.
Well, Avondale are on the roll again. Saeed, not sure. He was going to backheel it. In the end, he took way too much time. And 2 defenders became 3, and the turnover is on. Gets his pocket picked. Port Melbourne got the goal advantage in this one. I'll be careful with it. Square ball, left-right. Wellsmore goes upfield. Foot race is well and truly on. Well done by the big man, Helia. Kept his head. Rory Bryant, short ball. Boland copped one in the ribs. You could hear the oomph. Angled it for Katavian. Didn't have the power on it though. Port come up with it again. The ref's going to put a stop to it. He's been good tonight, the referee. I like it. We had a chat before the game. I said, let him go. He said, I'll have a crack. He did.
Well, you just see there with Liam Boland as he turned, he wanted to play the ball short to Katavian, and Katavian had other ideas. He wanted to go long. Boland wanted to go short. They're really going to have to figure out their game plan. Are they going to go long or go short? In my eyes, I think I agree with Boland. Avondale are going to have to put the ball down on the deck, play it around, as they got a opportunity here, but they probably won't get away with it. They're just going to have to play the ball around, use their quick feet, use their team capability like they are now, get something in behind, and instead of opting for that long ball, especially against the wind, with the wind blowing from left to right on your screens, as Katavian with the ball, plays it through, and went through.
Well, you'd expect Liam to nail it, big Liam. Yusuf Ahmed draws it back. And the attack again, it was a good chance. So Lundy, low and difficult into the box. That's Towns. And they play it way back to the half line. That was probably as good an opportunity as they've had. Lundy rumbles down that left side. Goes deep, drags it back. It skips across the penalty area. Ahmed brings it to ground. Lundy outside him again. So number 19, Lundy. Gets a cannon, gets a second look at it, tries to get a third look. That was bold and determined by Lundy. Bennett. This is looking better. Boland draws it in. Great stuff by Liam Boland. Katavian shot on the turn, but he could only get a toe to it, and it rolled harmlessly almost into the arms with the fingertips of the goalkeeper. This is just a little bit more Avenger-like as they attack the bay end, and I can just feel a bit of a sea breeze rolling in too, Joey. It's going to get cold. We may have to cuddle later on. The up and under flag is up by about the length of the Flemington Straight, that was.
We had Courtney Perkins and Duggan going for the same ball, and Duggan opted to go. He was the one offside. I don't think Courtney Perkins was, but just to the previous chance there, that was what I was talking about, Blakey. Avondale getting the ball, playing it to each other. There was a nice little 1-2 there from Katavian and Boland, and they ended up getting the shot, but Katavian just couldn't get enough on the ball. But they look to get the upper hand now, Avondale, as they're playing it around. Saeed with it, plays it to the right. Crossed in, looking for Boland, doesn't get to it, and Blakey there, turning on the Jets here, Avondale.
Oh, I think they're starting to warm to the task ahead on the road tonight. Riccobeni, that's Phil, gets a cannon. They'll keep possession of the footy, right lane, Social Club side, home of Port Melbourne, the mighty Sharks. Two clubs that have never won the major prize in Victoria. Hilliard decks it for Lundy, who's been busy, square ball. And again, Towns, laconically almost. Matthew Reid waits for an option, finds an option. Jete, dance moves. Oh, Saeed was in there, he powers after it, tries to chase down 1, 2 and 3. And like a little terrier in a fearsome rage, but he couldn't chase down the Port opponent. So 1-0 game, but Avondale starting to find their feet. Skipping over the tackle was Towns. That was beautiful. Lundy, the open man, hits it first time, and they'll concede a corner. That was dangerous. Lundy starting to produce an element of danger for Avondale, and Jite Towns, he is just silk. In the number 13, Avondale have to do it from behind though tonight. Here is actually a fairly good crowd down here at Shark Park tonight, I'll tell you right now. Corner to Avondale, bay end, lofts it, right footer, it sits, the goalkeeper flapped at it and missed it I think first time, but he clutched it to his chest second time around. He'd be pretty happy about that. So right now, Port Melbourne wrestle their way out of a clutch of around about half a dozen clubs, all sitting on 8 points in the middle of the table. And that's what I meant. You know, these games at this point of the year, Joey, they have consequences now, don't they?
Well, at the end of the day, you have some teams in recent seasons that have looked back at these early games that, you know, you really have to get a good result. You have to get a good start to the season, because if you start spilling points and then look to catch up later in the season, you might not be able to. Port Melbourne, if they can hold this and get the 3 points tonight, they will see themselves close to that top 6, which is where they want to be. They're a side that's been in the NPL top division here in Victoria for quite a few years, of course, coming from the state leagues. And as we just clock into half an hour, the first half an hour played of this match, it is Port Melbourne 1, Avondale 0. It was a Chris Cusis goal in the 17th minute as Yazid Saeed has the ball for Avondale. They're looking to chase the game.
And chasing it they are right now, but they're starting to make an impression. Towns, outside man, Lundy, left lane, deep again. Stop and go. Katavian weaves his way carefully through 1, 2, 3. Gets brought down. Nothing called by the referee. I'm happy with that. Katavian. No, it wasn't. It was Chate Towns. It gets pummeled and spins into the night sky. Dangerous. Boland hits the deck. He was the meat in a shark sandwich. And Liam Boland, well, he's holding the back of his head. So you'd have to think that's where he copped a whack. But that's a free kick to Avondale. It's a 1-0 game. We're creeping toward half-time. FV round 8 action. It's a beauty. An absolute beauty down at Shark Park tonight. Liam Boland, he's taken bigger knocks than that. He's okay. He wanders away, rubbing the back of his head. Katavian, slightest of angles. Lundy lining up about 15 off the ball. It'll be Katavian in the number 33 to take the free kick. It's a 1-0 game. Sharks lead toward half-time, and, well, he just spooned that. Inglorious effort by Katavian. He knew all about it too, and he's just throwing his head back in. Rueful. That was a chance missed.
Oh, Joey Katavian, as you said, he has not played the best so far, has been struggling probably with his own head as in how to approach this game and bring this result back. But, you know, just going back to that challenge, it was number 15, Christian Bombaci, who received that yellow card. That's his third yellow card of the season this year. Of course, with 5 yellow cards, you do get a 1-match suspension. But Avondale have seen a bit of the ball over the last 15 minutes, but haven't been able to convert anything, as Jackson Courtney Perkins is to take the throw in. Port Melbourne, if they can get another goal before half-time, Blakey, you really got to think that they are in the driver's seat to take all 3 points at home here.
I'll give you a stat on that too, Joey. Good job by you, by the way, as Port look to get a second. You know, Port have never scored more than 1 goal against Avondale in the NPL in any game. God, that is stat. That's a stat. That's a major stat. I don't know about you, but I'm impressed with me right now. I had nothing to do on Thursday night, so I thought I'd look it up. It's a 1-0 game. I think 2018 from memory was the only time in 14 starts that Port have beaten Avondale. Launched deep by Cusis, the goal scorer. The back header is dangerous for the goalkeeper. Rory Bryant had to backpedal and hold the ball from angle the ball so it didn't go over the line at that city end of the ground as we edge toward half-time. Round 8 action. Push and a shove. Saeed and Cusis. The latter wins out. Hooked over the shoulder to safety by Port Melbourne. This is really starting to warm up. I like this. I reckon you and I are going to be white knuckling it to the line, Joey. It's a good game, this one.
It is a very good game so far for a 1-0 in the first half. There's been plenty of action. If you're just joining us, the big news in the first 10 minutes was Stefan Valentini, number 22 for Avondale, came off with a hamstring injury as Jackson Courtney Perkins gets shrugged off the ball there, but Riccobene goes forward, plays it to Katabian, gives it to, I think that's Towns on the ball. But another stat for you, Blakey. As you said, the one goal, they've never scored more than one goal against Avondale. Well, the only times that they've scored more than one goal this season, they have won the encounter. 3-2 against Bentley Greens and 5-0 against St Albans Saints. And in none of the other games did they score any or only the one. So if they do get one tonight, all statistics lead to a Port Melbourne win.
Courtney Perkins launches himself toward the penalty area at the city end. The left footer was cannoned away to safety, and the follow-up from
Mel's.
Oh, was that Mel's? I thought it was the bloke. I tell you what, if we're going to have a stat off tonight, you and I just feel like it's, was it midday in the middle of a ghost town. We'll be reaching in our pockets for big stats. Rory Bryan under pressure launches it clear in a 1-0 game. That was good stuff by Jacoby, and he'll earn the free kick as well, Dylan Jacoby. He's all right when he's on form. Exciting player. So Avondale now, they're still a goal down as Hillier goes long. It sits perfectly for Saeed, who steps inside the tackler, then outside. Saeed still with determination, runs the angle. Ahmed back to goal. And Port clear the danger for the time being anyway. Katabian, he's got Lundy outside left. He's got Jacoby on the right, which is talking about, and Jacoby launches it. It's going to stay inside the playing arena, but Port will manoeuvre it away. That was really smart then. I think it was, oh no, Courtney Perkins, he's holding a hammy as well. Oh, keep an eye on that. So Courtney Perkins, the number 14, he powered away just then, and now down below us, not sure if we're getting that on screen. We probably a little bit away, but Courtney Perkins, the number 14, he's now down holding a hammy, and they're trying to get somebody to take note and put the ball out of play. Finally, the assistant referee on the near side throws the flag up, and Courtney Perkins down below us. So there might be another hamstring on top of Stefan Valentini early in the game. Might be the story of the night, the injuries that come out of this, Joey.
Oh, just looking at Markovsky, the Avondale coach, he's signalling to the fourth official, just get him off. He's right there next to the bench. Get him off the pitch. Let's keep the game rolling. But Adam Pittock maybe just wanting to use up the spare minutes that are here. We're close to half-time here. But just having a look at the live stream that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, it does actually say 0-0 on the scoreboard. That is incorrect. Port Melbourne Sharks, 17th minute, Chris Kiusis took the lead. So if you've joined us recently, Port Melbourne are up 1-0, Blakey.
So Irva's looking after the scoreboard. You know what's happened? He's dropped his jaw to the ground and he's frozen to the spot. The quality of the goal was so good, and he forgot to post it. It's a 1-0 game. Port lead it. We got back to play. Courtney Perkins. Saeed drives to the line. Saeed nimble. He's outnumbered, and the referee's going to. Well, I'm not sure. It may have been out of play. I'm keeping an eye downstairs. So they're going to make the change too. The Sharkies. The number 14, Courtney Perkins out, and.
So yes, Courtney Perkins comes out, and number 13, Liston Diaz, comes in to replace Liston Diaz, of course, youngster, was listed with the under 21s this season, but has absolutely proven himself so far this season for Port Melbourne and scored a goal as well. So he's been doing well. He's on the ball, first touch. If you can make something now, it's going to be absolutely gold for the Sharks. Doesn't go by himself. Was looking for Chris Duggan, but maybe he should have had the confidence to go there by himself. Avondale were giving him the room. Had he come on and with the first few touches scored, that would have been an absolute welcome to the pitch as Avondale have a free kick going forward in their own half.
Well, Diaz just on the ground. If that was the preview, can't wait for the main feature. It was a good start. And Port up by 1. We'll get a time check shortly, but we are in the dark depths, I reckon, of this first half. And it's been a beauty too. They'll hold the footy up. Katabian deep back. There, Katabian again. Launched it long. And he managed to nestle it in between Saeed and Jacoby, and it went out of play, and the Sharks will reclaim it.
It was Diaz who scored last weekend against Hume City. It was a 2-1 loss for Port Melbourne Sharks, and it was 3 minutes into stoppage time. Diaz got the ball, first time volley. It was quite a gorgeous goal, Blakey, but as I said earlier, the youngster given the opportunity, and looks like the ball, no, it's been called as it's gone out. So it will be a Port Melbourne Sharks ball, and the man of the hour, Liston Diaz, might take. Yep, it does so, Blakey.
I tell you what, you know your stuff, young Joey. I'm very, very impressed with you, young fella. Diaz with the throw. Everybody's young to me, by the way. Good stuff. Port would love a second before half time just to ice a pretty tasty cake right now for the Sharkies. Hughes is the goal scorer, runs adjacent to the half line and loses a bit of ground. Diaz spins out of that one. Good contest. Katabian one out. Couple of turnovers of the footy. Crowd's enjoying it. Wacko. Flag stays down. And what wonderful work by Jacoby to edge his way to the front of the contest. He looked as if he was in to score right then. Amachi. So it's become a bit of a reckless gun battle, hasn't it, at the moment, Joey? I don't know about you, but this is good stuff. Round 8 action. 1-0 Port Melbourne lead Avondale.
Well, yes, as you said, the ball was from Wellsmore, came to Duggan, and Duggan got the ball over to Amache, got hurt in the process. If you just have a look at him, he does have a little nick, but he probably will continue for the time being. But 2 injuries so far in the game, 1 apiece. And it's, I agree with you there, Blakey. It is really good stuff for the first half. We are a couple minutes away from getting the stoppage time for the first half. You could only imagine there'll be 2 or 3 minutes played, because we did have a few stoppages here in the first half as Port Melbourne look to hold off against the second in the division. They got another attack. If they can get one here, it's going to be very interesting for the second half, as it ends up with Lifton, who loses it.
Never scored more than a single goal against Avondale Port Melbourne. A remarkable stat, that one. Rickett Bene, and they will lose 20 and 30 metres just to comfortably keep control of the footy, Avondale, as we lurch toward half-time in a thriller-diller 1-goal game. Breeze starting to whip off Port Phillip Bay, which will be fantastic for Joey and myself and Caroline on camera right up here in the Shark Towers. Ball to ground. Katabian busy as always, almost spun out of an Ahmed. It's going to turn over, or is it? Yep. Port Melbourne ball, the crowd getting boisterous and loud and really enjoying this one. Diaz ambles across to take the throw in front of the coach's box, goes deep down the line, and the corner Port Melbourne's way. Duggan, the man to earn it. They're not going to put too much pressure on themselves to take it quickly. We're still waiting to see if anybody's going to wander down to that far right corner at the city end. I reckon Chris Hughes is in the end. Will get the job, and he will saunter, perhaps. Trundle would be also a word. He's going very slowly. We're just waiting for 2 minutes. Thank you, Joe. You are a good fella, Joe. I'm going to work with you again, buddy. 2 minutes of stoppage time will be allotted to this one. Kiyusis wipes the perspiration off his forehead. 2-step drop goes short on the deck. Litvin, Kiyusis launches it. Trouble for Avondale. Not quite. They might get a breakaway. Katavian had to reach for it, and he did. Well, Towns got scragged, and absolutely a yellow card, and I think it might have been Chris Kiyusis that was on the receiving end of that. Now you got to worry about Yusuf Ahmed. He's on the deck in front of us, as you can see. He springs to his feet. He's all right. Well, that's good news after Courtney Perkins and Valentini both lost to the game with what looked like soft tissue injuries in this first half. In a 1-0 game, and plenty on the line for both teams. It's a poured ball, or is it? Referee says it is. Ref's done a good job tonight. I reckon he's all right. He's a rip snorter, that bloke. And Duggan and Hillier go to ground. They were wrestling like two big old bears, and they both crashed to the surface. But it's going to be a port ball. I reckon they both sides will be almost satisfied to go into the sheds like this. We've got 1 minute, in fact, which is like 2, only half Joey, but doesn't matter. So again, Kiyusis is heading down there at a snail's pace. This is for the free kick. So I'm not sure if we played the allotted 45, Joey. We have? All right, so this may well be the last play of this mesmerising first half from Shoke Park.
Well, how long it's taking him to execute it might be 2 minutes there, Blake.
So Hughes with the free kick, danger ball, bounced across the penalty area, is still in play. And Rory Bryan, second take, he was happy to clasp that one. And then the release. Well, that was a heart-stopping moment for Avondale. You wouldn't want to go 2 down at this point in the game. That's chased down by Ricker Benny, Joey. Oh, as the curtains are thrown across this one, it's just heating up. It's just brewing, Joey. It's a heck of a game, I reckon, to come in this one. Now, what are you showing me?
Goal. Okay. So Port Melbourne take the 1-0 lead into half-time here at JL Murphy Reserve. Round 8 action in NPL Victoria. It was Chris Kiyusis, the left back, in the 17th minute that took the lead. And it's been a great half from Port Melbourne. They've been all over it, apart from a little short spell of about 10-15 minutes from Avondale. And they just had an opportunity there right at the death to double their lead. Came to the centre-back, Christian Bombaci, who didn't put it away. Probably not the best pick of the lot to give you a lead or to give you a goal, but they're going to take that ascendancy and go forward into the second half. As you did say before, Blakey, a bit of a sea breeze here in Port Melbourne, but we're absolutely looking forward to the second half.
Get your snacks and get ready for a big second half. We'll join you back here at Port shortly.
Avid football fans, welcome to JL Murphy Reserve here, where Port Melbourne Sharks have a 1-0 lead against Avondale FC. It has been a great showing from the home side in blue and red. It was a 17th minute goal from Chris Kiusis, the left back. The ball came to him and he snapped a left-booted shot into the bottom right corner across the goal. We've had 3 yellow cards in the contest so far. It was Kiusis who got a yellow card and Christian Bombachi, both third yellow cards for the season for Port Melbourne. And for Avondale, Scott Hillier, the centre-back, has a yellow card. Haven't missed much during the half-time break. No surprise substitutions as I look around the ground. And my name's Josip Herzog and I'm here with none other than Greg Blake. Blakey, what's the expectation for the second half?
I think we'll get through it despite that breeze off the bay. Second half, it's going to be a beauty. You've got, there's no blueprint for ripper goals like Chris Kiusis' goal to put the Sharks ahead, but there's no substitute for quality. And Avondale, the number 1 ranked offence in the competition this year so far, 13 goals coming into this one. I've lost a slab of that goal scoring potential though, that injury to Stefan Valentini. 2 big injuries. Both soft tissue. 1 to Avondale, 1 to Port Melbourne. Jakupi under pressure. Chate Towns equally. They relinquished plenty of ground. Square ball across the penalty area and launched away by Hillier. They'll come again. Sharks looking to perhaps frank that advantage of 1 goal in the early going in the second half. The breeze that is coming off the bay, if you know the area and you know Port Melbourne's home ground, that's to the right of screen, the Avondale goal scoring end in the second half. He was very, very bold, then Reardon, and the flag went up on that one, so it's going to turn over. Well, the curse of the home sides this year, coming into this round, only 14 of the 49 games have been won by the home side. So Port Melbourne, look at, there's a stat for you. You want a stat off, baby? Don't mess with me, Joey. Oh dear, it's been remarkable the number of upsets there have been, rolling out of trouble and into trouble and out of trouble again. Mel's. In the end, he finds a little bit of support. They squeeze it down the line, but it goes out of play. Avondale will get the footy back. Avondale, the stakes are huge for them tonight because it's round 8 of the NPL in Victoria. By the way, the best NPL in the country. It's been absolutely magnificent this year. The quality of games and the number of upsets. Bowling goes high. They can end this weekend top of the ladder. Chate Towns waits. Jakupi spears it, top of the penalty area, and Katavian let loose and it looped its way over the woodwork. And once again, Port Melbourne by a life in this second half, 1-0 game.
Yeah, I'll just run us around the grounds there, Blakey. Melbourneites at home, just at the hour mark right now. It was an Alan Webb 29th minute goal that has them 1-0 ahead against Altona Magic. And the other games that started after us, Bentley Greens at home, 35th minute, 0-0 with Oakley Cannons. And Dandenong City at home, 17th minute, 0-0 against Green Gully. And we have a bit of a second half drum off here, Blakey. What's happening there to the left of us here at the tower? They've brought the drum. So we've got some active support here as well. JL Murphy Reserve, Port Melbourne, everything's happening here, Blakey.
It's good stuff. I think that was the halftime show, but they didn't go here just a little bit late. The drum team. It's good stuff on this Friday night. Well, that was a long, long launch. That was North Korean rocket style. It was never on target, and Avondale will restart at the bay end of the ground. I've made some tragic bets down here, Joey, over the journey. Twice I've had to go for a dive in the bay after a game. I won't go there right now. It's a beautiful area now gentrified Port Melbourne. Not so beautiful right now for Avondale because they've got plenty of work to do over the next 40 minutes or so. Man in the middle is Jete Towns. He's silk, he's gifted, he's smooth. Here we are. Towns again. Saeed goes to ground, nothing doing, well reffed. Pressure coming. Look at Saeed, he's chasing everything. Port Melbourne. It's a long ball and they might get it on the counter attack. The old Sharkies. They're calling for infringement against the Avondale defence, but it's going the other way. That was an arbitrary. I reckon there's a toss of the coin call. I don't like those ones, Joey.
Well, we had Liston Diaz on the right, substitute, had the ball, and you had the man in the middle, I think it was Omar Amache, and as he tried to skip past the defender on the right, the ball went the other way. It was a bit too far for him, but positive from Port Melbourne. They've shown they can get forward, and Avondale's chasing the game. Avondale's putting the numbers forward, but Port Melbourne very capable on the break. Chris Kiusis, the man taking the throw in, he's the goal scorer. It's his goal that separates the two sides. And I just had a look at the live stream, and as they've got the scoreboard correct, 1-0, they've stuffed up the time. So 52 minutes played here at JL Murphy Reserve. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Port Melbourne play this one out. They know that Avondale's going to put numbers forward as they chase the game. They've got to get themselves back in before they go for the win. As Yazid Saeed, absolutely clinical there, but loses out. And, you know, it's about picking your moments here at NPL Victoria. Taking on a player, pass the ball, give it around, keep the ball moving. As it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper for Avondale.
I'll tell you what, Joe, you're doing a hell of a job. Really appreciate your support on comms tonight. You're a gifted young man with a ponytail. I worry. Long ball down Saeed, edged off the footy by Kiusis. The beauty of this game, this second half down at Port tonight under lights is that there are so many potential match breakers. And a man down was Matty Reid. Duggan, I didn't see too much in it, but he just says, hope you're okay, son, and we're up and going again. Oh, Diaz, he's a danger. He's like a powder keg waiting for a match, isn't he, Diaz? Throw into the Avengers. I reckon they'd stay. I reckon they'd be just right now. They'd be just a little bit concerned. Duggan, he spears one to the near post. It took a skip and a hop. Brian was all over it. Finds the open man in Jacoby. Got a bit of acreage to work with. Down this right-hand side in front of the comms area. Jacoby with that loping running style. Drives it deep. He's angled away from the danger zone. Liam Boland had to arch his back at the far post. The ball loops in the air and the goalkeeper comes and just gratefully accepts the leather into the chest. And they'll restart again. Port have beaten, let's start again. They've beaten Avondale just once in 14, or it might have been 15 games in the NPL era, which is remarkable. And the only time the Sharkies have made the finals, now stay with me on this one, Joey. The only time they made the finals was 2018. Guess who they played in the finals and got beat by? It'd be the old Avondale Avengers. So they really are the bogey side. This would be a great victory tonight. There'll be big celebrations at the social club if Port can get up. Duggan, the up and under flag went up as Diaz went into third gear as he chased the footy down under the beautiful arc lights at Shark Park tonight. It's actually a really pleasant night. Got some good company too in comms. Joey with me and Carolyn on camera tonight doing a great job. Am I allowed to mention you? Oh, just did. Can't take it back now. It's a 1-0 game. Sharks lead it early second half. Skidding ball, Dylan Jacoby. Powers after it. Be a throw into Avondale. I reckon they'll just be feeling the urgency now because time becomes a factor. They need 1 to check back in and 2 to be, well, first on the ladder at this point of the evening, or this point of the weekend on this Friday night.
Just on that one, are you allowed to mention Carolyn? Of course, if she wasn't here, I think we'd be looking pretty stupid with a microphone not plugged into anything, calling the game like we think we know what we're talking about. But, of course, thank you very much to Sportscast Australia, by the way, who do make sure that all of the games in NPL do, and that looks like a back pass, actually. I have not seen one of these in a very long time. So is that going to be indirect free kick? I think that's what the common rule is.
Well,
that's very interesting, Blakey. We've got everything. We got a sea wind. We got a drum. Yes, we do have a drum. We've got one coach standing, one coach sitting. But
we've got a team that's on the cusp of pulling off a really significant win against an arch rival, and all of a sudden we've got a moment of madness, controversy, a swirling maelstrom of confusion. Well, that was good. Stick with me, Joey. We'll get this done. Boland. There's that big imposing casts a long shadow. Liam Boland, Katavian's there, standing the footy as well. Boland to the right, Katavian step or two closer to the left. There's the entire Port Melbourne army on the line. They have rallied like their lives depend on it, and they probably do at this point as Katavian measures it. And there's the touch, and there's Boland, and it's off the sea of legs that was standing guard, and Katavian's second effort was a left footer, and then Lundy with the third. The Port supporters are cheering on the home side with some gusto as well right now. What a great atmosphere we've got now. Hopefully we're picking that up on the audio because this is terrific stuff. Friday night footy here down by the bay. Used to be the home of the painters and dockers and punch-ons in every pub in the neighbourhood. Now it's gentrified. Lovely couple of restaurants. What do you think, Joe? Go and hit the town afterwards. Get me a glow stick. I'm all over it. Don't worry about that, buddy.
Just make sure to undo the ponytail before we go there, Blakey. We'll look around the grounds. Dandenong City have a 1-0 lead against Gully as Jacoupy looks to play the ball. Over there at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex, it is 26 minutes played. Dandenong City, what a season they've had so far. They've been in the lead so many times. 5 times. You're throwing that at me now. That's your stat. We'll have that one on the record. That is Blakey's stat. But Dandenong City, but they just cannot seem to. I'll give you a stat. They've had Sasha Ognanovsky as coach for the 5 rounds of last season and for the 7 that we've played this season. And you know that they have not won a single game under Sasha Ognanovsky yet. So
he'll be pleased with you.
Very, very interesting to see what's going on there at Dandenong City. But once again, they do have a lead against Green Gully. They were the early stunners of the league. They were top, but have had a little decline in form. But we'll see what happens there as our game plays on. We are just about to hit the hour mark here, Blakey. So another half an hour of this great atmosphere that's turned on for the second half. Port Melbourne with the ball.
And still just that ripping goal from Kiusis separating the two teams. I'll tell you an interesting one. I'm really getting over this stat stuff, but there's the two teams, first and last on the ladder, South Melbourne Ellis and Dandenong City coming into the weekend. Both of them have led games 5 times. Dandenong City have come up with 0 wins. South Melbourne are top of the ladder. As Port manoeuvre it deliberately forward, it comes crashing off Riccobene, I think it was, and he had the deck, and it's going to be a corner to Port Melbourne and the Mighty Sharks in the vertical blue and red. We'll get the corner, and again, Chris Chiusis, we keep calling his name, but a smashing goal and a big contributor, and we'll just talk amongst ourselves in the hour or two it takes him to go and get the ball and take the corner. He's in no hurry. Time becomes a consideration though, doesn't it? We'll go with the corner, Joey, now I'll get your considered opinion on where the game's at. They'd love another here. Never scored two against the Avengers. Dangerous ball skidding off the head of an Avondale player, I reckon. That's going to be another corner to the Sharkies. This time on the city side, the broadcast side of the ground. I think they're feeling it. They're in the groove, Joey. So another corner. All big bodies smashing, crashing in there, and the goalkeeper, Brian, he saw it pretty early, took it cleanly, and he gave it straight away. He had the runner, I think it was Bowl, I'm not sure. Doesn't matter, no, it was Lundy. It doesn't matter anyway because it's going to be a Port free kick. So again, they're pressing very early in this second half. We've played just over an hour. It's a 1-0 game. The Sharks lead. FV live coverage of all the action. Starting round 8 on this Friday night. Round 8 when the wheat and the chaff become separated even further. And right now they want to stay wheat, not chaff, the old Sharkies, don't they, Joey?
Well, I gotta just say one thing that should be invested in NPL Victoria is every club should pay someone $50 a week to be on the drum at every game. I love this drum. This is fantastic. Well, Mel's on the ball. Won't be him. Taken. Looking for that top right corner. I think that was Chiusis as he runs back to his left back position. Couldn't just got the ball up, but couldn't get it to dip in time. As Rory Bryan looks to restart an Avondale attack, but the way they're playing, it does look like Port Melbourne are chasing the lead, but not to be. It is 1-0 for Port, and they've got the press there, and that was Matthew Reid who nearly got caught in possession, and that would have been absolutely heart-shattering had the double press there from Port Melbourne succeeded, and had they been one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but they do end up with the ball. Very good atmosphere here at JL Murphy Reserve as we look to get the ball into the box. Doesn't go. It isn't Tumanopoulos on the ball. Throws it back to his defender. That was Reardon who copped it on the ankle by Katabian. Katabian telling him to get up. But I think the referee, Jack Morgan, does get involved. Tells Katabian to walk away. And I was just trying to warm up the vocal cords there, Blakey. I'll give the mic back to you.
Just sometimes you want to have a replay on things, don't you? But anyway, to support ball, Matthew Reid a moment ago got ambitious and nearly got run down. They're bringing it right now, the Port Melbourne Sharks, and their fans are loving every minute down here by the bay tonight. And again, Avondale, normally so accomplished. That wasn't bad. Ahmed goes outside. It's going to be left, right for Saeed. Katabian moving into the penalty area. Support now coming from Jacoby. It doesn't matter. It spills for Jite Towns. He takes the safety option and then runs to receive again just inside the front half, the number 13. He sprawls to the ground. Good physical stuff then. By Litvin, he won out. He won the day for Port Melbourne. Litvin again. But this is becoming quite the struggle now. Tagan was called on to do some heavy duty work against a couple of opponents. You just get a feeling for this, Joey. It's really starting to build. It's starting to work toward a crescendo. It's physical. It's fast. It's well on here on this round 8 Friday night game. And the big fella, Wellsmore, he gave it a belt and it sizzled for a moment, then listlessly over the woodwork. It's turning into a good one, Joey.
It is turning into a good one. Having a look just behind us here in the tower. Someone's gone to go get the ball that flew onto the baseball pitch behind us. And now the referees are having a chat, saying that might not actually be a match ball that they've been given into the hands. So that's just a couple more minutes off the clock. The clock still is on Avondale's side. They've got 25 minutes or so to go to find what we would call an equaliser, but there is a bit of a heated discussion here in front of us going on. I think that's between the fourth official and the assistant coach of Avondale, as the ball from the baseball pitch has come back. So you'd be a bit worried if there is only one match ball. That's something that Port Melbourne Sharks, maybe that's part of the tactic, but we won't accuse anyone of anything. It's Port Melbourne looking to get a doubler. Mel's on the ball.
Good stuff, Joey. I'll tell you, Boland measured, but defence is all over him. I reckon they're starting to feel the pressure just a little bit. Avondale. Ahmed, he's absolutely overwhelmed by the Port players. They're up for it. They're keeping the pressure on. Uses for Litvin. And they hold the footy. They're enjoying the platform right now, Port Melbourne. This would be a huge scalp for them in the context of the season, in the context of their rivalry with Avondale. Lots of strained voices and animation on the two benches, I can tell you right now. The tension is becoming palpable here at Shark Park tonight. Boland, 90-degree spin. That's Saeed. You want to take the footy though, young fella? And Port manoeuvred away. It's two changes of possession. That was good stuff because Saeed lost it and won it back just with determination. That sets an example. He had to run about 20 metres to get that footy back. And the ball is Port Melbourne's. Every ball now has become a contest. Every time the ball spills and out of play, they're claiming it vociferously, both sides. But Port's still hanging on to that one goal advantage. Well, a trip and a... Well, that's definitely an Avondale ball. Boland glancing header on. Tate Towns, nowhere to go. Ahmed was scooting past, but Port had the numbers. Litvin. Dug in. Deep against Matt Reid, and the ladder wins out. Matty Reid goes long, squeezes it down the right sideline. Yusuf Ahmed goes one-on-one against his opponent. Boland heads us towards the top of the penalty area. Katabian, and that was turned round the corner. That was on its way home. Avondale will come up with it. Boland protects the footy. I told you. Strap yourself in, Joey. So this game is now evolving into a breakneck thrill ride down to the wire, I reckon. Jacoby with the footy for the Avengers. Deep right lane. City end of Shark Park on this Friday night. Lem Boland. He's strong and bold and he holds his ground and he launches a left footer that started on target and then just wafted away and then just gets in the face a little bit. There's a little bit going on between Reardon, I think it is, and Liam Boland. It's still a 1-0 game. Sharkies lead it.
Well, Avondale's going to really have to do something in terms of the midfield. They just don't seem to be able to hold up the ball or create anything. They've got Adam El Hayek on the bench who can come on, but just have a look at Yusuf Ahmed and Yite Towns. They haven't really been at their best, or as what we know to see week in, week out from the two midfielders for Avondale haven't been able to get onto anything tonight, and it does look like they are going to make a substitution. Let's have a look. It is Al Hayek who will come on. Just confirmation to see who is going to replace. Probably be one of the two, Towns or Ahmed. But we'll get confirmation of that probably the next break of play. It's Saeed on it now. Loses out once again, like I said. As into Monopolis to Duggan. Looks to play Lifton through. Lifton has support on the back post, and it did make it to Amache at the back post, but being called for an offside as that substitution comes now. It will be number 11, Yusuf Ahmed, coming off for number 15, Adam Al Hayek. So be very interesting to see how Al Hayek comes into this game. He'll be coming with a bit of information from the bench, and Al Hayek looks to go into left back as Brandon Lundy gets pushed up. So looks to bring the experience forward. So Katabian's sitting in the middle now. Lundy, I'm just trying to work out this formation from Zoki Markovsky that he's putting forward for the final 20 minutes, Blakey. They, like I said before, they've still got time on their side. They can conjure up something, but time's running away. It is ball forward. Amachi, he skipped from a past a player, but wasn't to be, as it's called for a free kick. Blakey, how do you see these last 20 minutes folding out?
I don't know. Pass me some heart pills and I'll let you know. I reckon it's going to... I reckon this is going to build and build, because Avondale right now are frustrated. Jakupi draws it back. Boland glancing header. Great take by the goalkeeper. He watched it off Liam Boland's head and just angled his body and picked it off with consummate ease. It's a 1-0 game inside the last 20 FV live action round 8. And the big scalp here and the big achievement here right now is that Port potentially holding Avondale, the top scoring club in the comp, scoreless. Lundy on the overlap run from Jakupi. Lundy puffs out the chest. The ball takes a loop. Jakupi had to win it once. He'll have to win it twice. Did really well against the numbers. And it's called against Riccobeni, I reckon. And it's going to be a Port Melbourne ball. They lead by a 1-0, have done since the 17th minute when Chris Kiusis made his own headline for the day, and it might be the definitive headline of the evening right now. Port will move on this to 11 points and well back in the battle for the top 6. Avondale left stranded just behind South Melbourne if it stays this way, but you don't know, do you? So another change. We'll get you to call that through, Joey.
That's number 24, John Kuol, coming in. And that's coming in for number 9, Omar Amache. John Kuol, of course, in the second round, that win against Bentley Greens. He was the winner. He was the super sub that came on and got the goal, and what a celebration. I'm not sure if you caught that one, Blakey, but John Kuol, when he scores, he brings out the flips and the tricks. It's unbelievable how acrobatic the bloke is, but that's a really good addition to Port Melbourne's side, especially as they've got the ascendancy. They've got the 1-0 lead on their home turf, less than 20 minutes to go, and it's going to be a big party here in Port Melbourne if they can take this victory. These 3 points, all important, Blakey.
Oh, good stuff, Joe. You've been a gem to work with tonight, my friend, as Avondale go early and high, and Jakupi would have to sprint like Ben Johnson on steroids at the 88 Olympics to get that, and he didn't have it in him. Port ball, deep back, Hughes, square. No chances taken by Port, who are less than 20 minutes away from a victory against an enemy that's been punishing them over the years. We've only ever beaten Avondale once. We mentioned that a couple of times. Brian goes long and high into the night sky. That was a great chop out. Well done by Reardon. And Port get a second here, and you can just about you can ice the cake, but you won't when you give away a cheap free kick like that. Saeed scragged by Wellsmore, and it's going to be an Avondale free kick. We're up in Port Towers. Carolyn on camera, Joey and Blakey, yours truly, doing their best to bring you all the action on this opening evening of round 8 in the NPL here in Victoria, and it may well be a very, very big night of celebrations for the Port Melbourne Sharks. Ain't over till it's over, though. This is a good side. Avondale. Jacoby held off the challenge once, twice, and he'll earn the corner as it spins off the foot of Reardon, I think it was. And it's going to be a corner. Broadcast side, city end, deep right lane for Avondale, who are now starting to show signs of air of desperation. They've got to press hard now. Katabian, the number 33, has been, as always, very, very busy tonight for Avondale. Into the hot spot. Goalkeeper got fingertips round the body. I think it was Boland. Doesn't matter. Play on anyway. Another moment goes begging for Avondale. Katabian tried to shrug off the challenge of Kuol and earns the free kick. Takes it quickly. Lundy powers towards it. Draws it back from the byline. Leap at the far post was Boland. Ball goes airborne. And Sharks, I reckon Diaz. And Diaz again. Avondale will win it back. Saeed did really well. Boland with the spin. Saeed, nimble. Saeed draws it in. Jacoby, he was swamped by Sharks. And they might break it at the other end. Duggan round the corner, ball off the outside of his boot for Kuol. Kuol was brilliant. Goalkeeper was brave. What a moment. What a moment. Kuol was in. Brian threw himself to the spinning legs and feet of Kuol. Jeez, this is a good game, this one, Joey. I'm enjoying it enormously. Poured up by one. Thriller-diller, round 8 action. Kiusis on the run. Outpoints Lundy in the sprint. Lundy stays with him. Looks like a rugby league scrum. Kiusis goes to ground. Tries to draw a free kick. It's a corner anyway. I don't know about you, Joey, but I'm enjoying this enormously. I want to go back and pay at the turnstiles and say thank you for such a good night.
Has been an entertaining evening here in Port Melbourne. Port Melbourne Sharks 1-0 up, and they're at their home ground. Would only be the second time they've ever beaten Avondale FC. Well, 78 minutes played, but just that opportunity, Johnny Kuol's first opportunity, it's about a minute ago. It would have been unbelievable had he been able to get the ball past the goalkeeper, as Port Melbourne Sharks in absolutely no hurry to get the ball in. Ball comes in swinging to the back post and straight into the grasp of Rory Bryan for Avondale. They got to go quick. Over 10 minutes to go, but less than 15. So Avondale FC, if it's ever been time, the time is now. Port Melbourne back onto it, looking like they're chasing the game. Can it come out? Comes out to Mel's, blocked by Katabian. Katabian should be up on the other side of the pitch scoring goals, but he's last-ditch defending as Kuol's on it, the substitute. Looking to go to the left, gets tackled, but it will be Port Melbourne Sharks' ball. Port Melbourne Sharks showing that they want these 3 points, showing that they're the better side, and honestly, Blakey, they have been today. They've been the better side here at home. They haven't been able to find form at home apart from that one win against St Albans Saints. As I run you through the grounds, and Altona Magic have done it again, Blakey. 1-1 in the last minute. They've been able to equalise against the Knights, and what a season this is turning out to be. And with the transfer window opening after this round, it is absolute scenes as the ball comes to Yazid Saeed. Can he conjure something up? I think that's with Yitte Towns. But as I was saying before, just unable to do anything in the midfield tonight, Avondale. And Port Melbourne have been absolutely on top.
Every contest is becoming red hot as we head into the depths of this one. They have still got, I was going to say reserves of energy. They probably haven't, but they're throwing themselves into both sides. Port away from a little couple of minutes away from a historic win, and Avondale, well, they're still well in it as Jacoby rolls away. Tried to square it up. Great stuff as the spearing shot, I reckon, was from Jite Towns, and it just rolled around the corner. He knew as soon as it came off the boot that it was off target. So another chance or another moment for the Avengers goes begging. Oh, there's Friday night. You cannot complain about the action here at Shark Park tonight. It's been a beauty. You're anxious to.
I was just going to say it's been the tale of Avondale's night tonight. They just haven't been able to get their body over the ball. All their shots have mostly gone over the bar or wide, apart from two fantastic saves from Andrew Withers, both in the second half, as they're preparing a substitution right in front of us. It will be Charlie Beverley coming on, the number 4. Just waiting to see who he will be coming on for as we wait for the change, and that's half a number there. He's showing us a 1 and not sure what else he's showing, a 7, number 17. So it is Phil Riccobene, the captain for tonight for the Avondale Avengers, coming on and just running around the grounds. I said Altona Magic done it again. It was Lucas who equalised in the 91st minute, and Melbourne Knights were awarded a penalty 3 minutes into stoppage time, and they actually have taken the lead back. So Melbourne Knights 2-1 out at Knights Stadium. So it's been a great night of football here in Victoria as Port Melbourne look to go forward. Can they double their lead? Surely if they get one now, it will be all over Red Rover. As Chris Duggan on the ball, looking for Kowal in the middle. Horrible clearance, putting themselves under pressure. Lifton's there, can't get onto it. It comes back out. It will be Port Melbourne ball, and it will be a throw-in.
Holy moly, it's happening again. The NPL here in Victoria is alive and kicking. It's like the best roller coaster you'll ever ride on. Season 2021. And right now for Port Melbourne, they are on the cusp of a huge win as Jacoby onto Boland's ball, puts the brakes on. The substitute just into the game, Charlie Beverley, gives it a whack and a thwack in it. So that should be a corner, I would have thought. Okay, I'm mystified. Joey, I'll let you call that.
Well, I'm just interested how the perception of the game from different sides of the pitch looks. So you've had the other side of the ground screaming, thinking that was in, but from our angle here, it's gone more than a metre wide. So it's a very interesting perception there, but I'm not sure about the whole corner situation, but referee Jack Morgan says play on, and Withers takes it. It's a long goal kick against the wind, of course. The wind blowing from left to right on your screens. Port Melbourne lose the ball out there. Saeed's on it. Looks to play it forward. And that was horrible from Liam Boland. Didn't know which way to turn.
Well, they're coming in numbers, Avondale, but still to no avail. The Sharkies, Port Melbourne, have got the league's top guns on the ropes. They haven't troubled the scoreboard attendant tonight, Avondale. It's a 1-0 game. Port Melbourne leading Avondale into the last 10 of this one. Might get an accurate time check on that. Lundy goes deep, but that'll be a corner. There was plenty of cries for handball, nothing doing.
So on that time check, we're 84 minutes in, so we've got 6 plus stoppage. The time is now for Avondale. They're going to have to conjure something up if they want to take anything from this away trip in Port Melbourne.
My last stat of the night. Last time here it was 1-1. It was in June 2019. It's the only time. We'll go with Katabian's corner deep into the red zone. Goalkeeper flapped at it. Ball's still loose. There's an equaliser. Holy heck. With 5 to play and the Avengers in a mad scramble get an equaliser. Gee whiz, Joey. It's on. I'll tell you what, it's on.
Well, Charlie Beverley, the number 4, he's just come on and he's brought the goods. He's come off the bench and he's made sure that Avondale get an equaliser. The ball come up. It did touch off the post and it was a massive scramble in the box and it came out to Beverley. He was the first one. He's the fittest on the pitch, the most focused at that point in time, and Avondale do get themselves at least a point, but now it's on. We've got 5 minutes plus stoppage, and absolutely anything can happen here as Kuol's not happy with that decision. Avondale going to go forward with Katabian. Jakupi wants it. He's going to get it. Not if Chris Kiusis has anything to say about it, but Terminopoulos onto it, plays it to Kuol. Kuol around, goes around Matthew Reid. He's got the top goal scorer of the league inside the box. Chris Duggan doesn't get the ball into the goal. What a stop by Rory Bryan. Chris Duggan was all over it, nearly snapped his vocal cords screaming for the ball. And Johnny Kuol did get the ball to him, but Rory Bryan did make sure he spread himself, and it is Port Melbourne corner with Chris Kiusis onto it. Blakey, we're in for a treat here in the last 5.
Oh, I haven't seen the crowd this animated it again this year. They are rolling with every single punch. It's like nuclear war out there. No winners, just survivors. It's a beauty. 1 each. And Avondale back in the contest. Corner, Bay End of Shark Park on this Friday night. It's 1-1. It's been every bit the build up to this one has been how big this one is, and it's turned out just that way. We're waiting patiently. The referee's having a chat to Kuol and a couple of opponents right on the line now. So Port led for so very long. Deep, deep corner. Running away. They might get it clear. They do get it clear. Jakupi on, I reckon that was Towns got a touch to it. He's impeded by Litvin, I reckon, and the referee's brandishing a yellow card, spinning in a spectacular fashion, and it's all happening as we take the handbrakes off for these last 3 or 4 minutes of regulation. Keen eye kept on the 4th official. Lundy wants to take the free kick. They've come from nowhere. It's like Kingston Town in the what was it? Kingston Town can't win. Avondale couldn't win. Well, maybe they can. Saeed scampers down that left sideline. And he'll get the corner for the Avengers. So, right now, Port are on the back foot for so long, looking like they were going to record an historic win against their old rival. Again, keep an eye on the time. We're into, I reckon, about the last 2 or 3 minutes of regulation. Katabian will have to put this into the win. Underlights, Friday night thriller, near post cross. Loops in the air, driven by Towns. Powered away off the line. Towns wins it back with determination. Lofted in the air by Matt Reid. So look, be happy to just hang on to the footy, or are they going to... Both sides, I think, want to go for a winner, which is terrific stuff. Liam Boland in him. That's just... that wasn't convincing as a free kick. Got to play it down. We've got to Port play it down. So it is Ben Litvin that is down behind play. It's a 1-1 game. We'll get a time call, and it's all set up. I'll tell you one thing. The one thing I'm getting a feeling about here, Joe, is neither of these two teams are going, well, let's just settle for a point. Let's duke it out. You know, it's the 12th round of a heavyweight championship fight. Let's just punch it out.
Well, you know, you have a look at Port Melbourne. They were the better side for most of tonight's affair, and you just got to think that if it finishes 1-1, that's 2 points lost for Port Melbourne. Had you asked them before the game for a 1-1 draw, they probably would have been happy with that result against one of the better sides in the competition. But being on top for so long and being in the lead, you just got to wonder what went wrong. And we will see another substitution for Port Melbourne Sharks. It's number 5, Anthony Iancello, coming on. He's returning for his first appearance this season. Of course, did get injured in pre-season. 2 weeks before the season, got injured with an ankle tear. It's about 10 weeks ago now. But Ben Lifton, the one there who just got a yellow card, does come off. He's on the other side of the pitch over there with the physio. He probably will see out the game over there in that corner. Might have to just put a bib on him or something, just so that players don't get confused. But Port Melbourne going forward. It's time for Diaz to show what he's made of. Loses it out to Hillier. The ball is with Saeed. He's quick, plays it through. Boland's got numbers forward. Running into the box is Beverley. Behind him, Jakupi. Boland looks to go by himself. Back to Saeed. It's probably the wrong option at the time. It was 2v2 in the box, but Avondale going forward. What can they conjure up? Saeed, quick feet. Will he get brought down? Still with Saeed. He's going forward. Now it's with Boland. Can he turn? Doesn't get the ball out to Lundy, and that's a absolutely wasted opportunity there for Avondale as they're looking to get the lead.
Oh, Joe, I've seen this a couple of times this year. They've just found it. 4 minutes of time added on for stoppage. 4 minutes of gripping time added on. They've just found another gear, the Avondale Avengers, and they'll do this to you. I saw it against Oakley earlier in the year. They'll just lift when they need to. They looked tethered for so long by Port Melbourne, and about now all of a sudden the Sharks are hanging on like grim death. Have they got something to bounce back with? The flag was going to go up as soon as the pass was delivered. So Avondale want to get it moving early now. Are we into stoppage, Joey? Thumbs up. Yeah, we are. So about 240 seconds of tension-filled footy. Avondale go in search of what would be a staggering match winner. Katavian did really well to control it. Outside ball is going to return to possession of the Avengers. Throw deep. Jakupi. He had to face an army there on the edge of the penalty area. Takes a bounce clear. Or does it, Charlie? Beverley's back in it again. He got the equaliser. So Beverley trundling over to get the footy. Port will get the restart, but right now they are reeling along the ropes. It's been a fascinating struggle tonight. I don't think you couldn't conceivably dismiss either side. Port have been great tonight and shown plenty in this round 8 game. Port have got Heidelberg next week. Dandenong Thunder await the Avengers. There's no easy games this season in the NPL. So, deep into stoppage time. It's 1-1. Avondale have come on an outside run. And now, right now, looking to edge Port Melbourne at the death. Lundy waits with the throw. Boland holds the footy up under pressure. Worked his way into a gap where there wasn't one, and the referee's going to call it against Port Melbourne, I reckon. I'm not sure whether you call that this late in the game, Joey. The big boys are out there, they're crashing, they're bashing. It becomes desperate in a situation like this. Is it really yellow card worthy?
Well, it is late in the game. I think that's Matthew and Tumanopoulos who got that yellow card, but as they take this Avondale, we will be in the final 60 seconds, so it's going to be absolutely massive, and you're probably going to see the players run towards their bench if they can get one here. It's Lundy and Katabian on the ball. you probably want Lundy on this one with the left boot to curl it in towards the back post. Does a fake. It's Katabian. Swings it into the box, but Port Melbourne get to it first and they kick it out. They'll probably be happy with the point now. It comes to Bryant.
Oh, Joey, I thought you were going to take us right down the home stretch then. It's a 1-1. We're in the last 60th stoppage time. Even Caroline on camera, she's gone all white-knuckled. She's loving this stuff. What a game, what a night. Keusis, it seems like about 6 months ago that he got that match opener. And the shutters come down reluctantly, I reckon, for a lot of people here at the ground. Come down on a big one to start this round 8. The NPL in Victoria. It has been an absolute monster season in 2021, and the thrill ride continues unrelenting here tonight at Shark Park. Chris Keusis with an absolute rip snorter, one for the highlight reels, to put the Sharkies ahead on 17, and then as they do, the Avengers find another gear when it counts late in the game. And Charlie Beverley comes off the bench to get the equaliser. Oh, gee whiz, you don't need a heart starter at my age. My heart, I'm struggling as it is. But a 1-1 game, Joey, you've done a great job. I've really enjoyed working with you, but what a great game too.
Thank you very much, Greg Blake. It has been an absolute pleasure to call this one with you here at JL Murphy Reserve. As you said, Port Melbourne Sharks and Avondale with the 1-1 draw. Port Melbourne were the better side for most of the game, had the lead for most of the game as well. As I said earlier, had they been asked for the point before the game, they probably would have taken it, but you've got to just feel for the hosts. It does seem like 2 points dropped, but they move forward, they look on to next week, and it will be absolutely interesting to see how it pans out. Like I said, the transfer window opening up, so you're going to see some news and some transfers coming through the gates here of NPL Victoria. I think it will be open only for a week, so it's going to be very interesting to see, especially so early in the season. But the coaches have had 8 weeks to test out squads and test out players and see how the form's going. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all pans out next week. My name was Jossi Petzog. It's been an absolute pleasure here calling with Greg Blake. And from myself and Greg Blake, we bid you a farewell and good night.